guys, this is what I'm going to be riding. Indian, I believe this is the Bobber 60. This is a smaller version. Smaller motor version compared to the, I want to say 1100. Ooh, I'm so excited. Alright. Okay. Alright, so yeah, you just hit it once and it starts right up. You don't have to hold it, keep holding it. Alright, he said it's 1 down, 4 up, so it's 5-speed. Alright, let's see. Oh, man, it has been a while since I'd been on a cruiser. Oh, baby. Oh, I am digging this. Oh, it feels good. Oh, this feels good, guys. This feels mighty good. Oh, the mirror position is great. You are like, I'm 5'8", and I mean, I am pretty leaned over. You know, I am pretty leaned over, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not super uncomfortable. That's the thing. It leans really nice, it feels like. Alright, he said we're going to go down to Highway 45 and then swing on back. Alright, so, I mean, it gets up and goes. It will get up and go, but it's... Alright, that torque feels pretty nice, but it's not FZ09 fast, which we knew this going into this, because I want to say he said this is a 75 horsepower motorcycle compared to the FZ09, where FZ09 I want to say is about 115 horsepower. So, you know, you're going to have quite a bit more torque and horsepower on the FZ, but, you know, this, if I were to get this, I probably wouldn't, knock on wood, I haven't gotten myself in trouble with the FZ, but this would definitely be just more of a cool, like, cruising motorcycle. And again, you know, the forward controls and everything, this, honestly, guys, I mean, I've only been on it for, what, like, a couple minutes, but it doesn't feel bad. It really doesn't feel bad. For a taller person, or more, maybe a little bit longer wingspan, you're going to be able to reach the handles a lot easier. But it's not like it's not like I'm barely holding on. You know, I got a good grip on it and everything. You know, I got a pretty good grip on this. But it's just, you know, you're going to be leaned over. You know, you're kind of like not a pretzel, but you're like a big C right now. With the stock pipes. You know, first thing I would do, of course, is, you know, you got to put new pipes on this. But, you know, your knees are bent as, you know, you're sitting here. You know, the seat is not bad. The seat is actually pretty comfy, not gonna lie. The seat is pretty nice. Suspension, rear suspension feels a little stiff, you know, hitting bumps, but that's to be expected with a bobber, right? That's part of the fun of owning a bobber, I would think. Now, if you guys don't know, or if you're newer to the channel, I did have a bobber at one time. I had a Suzuki Savage 650. Suzuki Savage 650, and it had a motor problem. It had an issue with the motor. You had to push start it each time, and I just couldn't have that anymore. It was getting too annoying, so I ended up selling it. But I never truly got to ride it in its bobber configuration. but the short time that I did have it, I loved it. And for a while now, I've been looking into getting another bobber or a bobber project or something. But then when I seen these Indian bobbers, you know, I was just like, man, I wouldn't have to do anything, you know, except for some cosmetic stuff here and there. But you know, nothing serious in the matter of, you know, changing, you know, everything on it. All right, so I mean, it scoots. You know, it will scoot. It will get up and go. You know, it will easily be able to get out of its own way. You know, you got no problem in that. It's cool. It's got what is that? Yep. What did you about call it? The thing. It's got the thing. It's got a gear indicator. Got a gear indicator, the speedometer, RPMs, the time. I think there's a way that you can cycle through some other things. Now, one thing I guess about this bike, I'm going to have to maybe put some stats up here after I get off the ride, but there's no fuel gauge, or there might be a fuel gauge on the newer ones. I don't know. There was some discrepancies that I was reading and hearing from other people about a fuel gauge on this bike. So might not have a fuel gauge, but if you figure out how to toggle through this, you might be able to figure something out. Now, you know, seeing that it's not, you know, as fast as the FZ, you know, stuff like that. You know, it's not as fast as the FZ and all that, but it's meant for a different kind of cool. You know, it's just a different feeling, you know, all in itself. All right, so a couple things now that we're stopped. The brakes on this are nice and tight, nice and firm. It's not squishy. You know, no squish. It's nice and firm. You know, rear brake, front brake. I'm guessing that's because the steel brake lines. What else? You know, the clutch feels really nice. Let's put it up in neutral. Clutch feels real nice. Just firm all around. Like, does not feel cheap at all. All right, so one thing I was noticing here. So it does have a low fuel indicator. It does have a little fuel light that would come on. So I'm not sure at what point it would come on. That's something I would have to ask the guys back at the Indian dealer. But it does have a little fuel light on there. All right, let's give a little distance here. We really open it up. You know, wide open throttle. You know, it pulls, but it's, you know, it's not going to be anything like what I'm used to with the FZ. And I know I keep referencing the FZ, but that's because that's what I own right now. And, you know, if you own a bigger bike, and you're expecting, you know, the same type of power and everything, now, I mean, there are like upgrades from Indian that you can do. You can do straight from Indian a PCM flash. Which I know bumps up the horsepower and everything like that. You can do, you know, the air filter, intake, exhaust. Now the next bike we're gonna do this. So this is the smaller version of the engines, of the motors. We're riding an engine right now, but now this is gonna be a smaller version of the motor that we're on right now. And I kind of did that on purpose. I wanted to, you know, get a feel for the smaller motor, and then to go to the bigger motor to see the difference. Which, I don't know, maybe if they let me, maybe if I have enough time, I'll do a comparison on the bobber, on the bigger bobber too. Lordy, does it? I mean, it does feel good. It does feel nice. You know, accelerating, it feels great, it's smooth. The one thing though that I do have to say is that the seat, the bobber seat on this, as you're accelerating, you might feel like your butt is gonna hop off the back of the seat. But I guess, you know, that's part of the feel with the bike. You know, that's just how it is. All right, now with one arm off the bike, more of a relaxed feel. That is a little bit more comfy. I gotta say, it's a little bit more comfy. You know, you don't have to be as leaned over. So that might be an option for, you know, longer trips, longer rides, you know, where you don't want to be all leaned over on this thing. Engine braking is pretty good. Engine braking is pretty good. Alright, so you can easily, you know, get in between cars that you need to. And if anything, I don't know, maybe because it's lower to the ground and everything, but just, you know, just switching lanes and just going back and forth feels more responsive. I don't know, guys. It just feels more responsive and, you know, more aggressive. You know, maybe it's the forward controls, you know, you feel like you're more, oh, my boot just scraped. Ah! My boot just scraped. Now, I know another option, and they have a bobber. They have a bobber with some longer handlebars, which I might want to try. I might want to try coming up here. But they do have a bobber. I want to say it's the it's one of the anniversary versions, but it's got more taller, further back handlebars. Now, I will be excited to get on the bigger motor, see how that compares with this, and see how that compares with the FZ. Okay then, just stay right in the middle there, Mercedes. So I think I went a little too far from where I was supposed to go. Hope they don't mind. Maybe I'll be kicked out right after this. Oh, here we go. Okay, so there's a little lever right here, and you can go through here. Yeah, I don't know. This is just mileage, trip miles, distance. I don't know, but I don't see anything as far as. Oh boy, I don't see anything as far as the fuel. It's just such a cool bike, but I don't know if I would get rid of the FZ for this. I don't know. You know, now if I could get this bike and the FZ, keep them both, and the Grom, that would be totally doable. And like I try to explain to my wife, you know, she asks, why do you have so many guns? Why do you need so many motorcycles? They all serve a different purpose. They all serve a different purpose. The Grom is just fun for hooning around, you know, just goofing around. The FZ is for when I want to be scared. That's for when I want to rip the throttle and be scared. This bike would just be for cruising. When I just want to go out for a cruise, you know, and not feel like breaking the law every 10 seconds. So guys, I am starting to feel it in the back. I am starting to feel it in the back by being leaned over like this. My upper back is starting to feel not sore or like in pain, but just you know, just a little uncomfortable. And I don't know if that's just something that like in time I would get used to, or I would have to do some yoga before getting on this. But with my height being like, I guess, more leaned over, you know, your upper back is going to start to feel it after some time here. But then again, we've just been in traffic scenarios. I haven't really, you know, gotten to get up to like highway speed and cruise on the highway for a while. You know, to kind of, you know, go upright a little bit like this. But I'm sure I would have felt the same way if I would have kept the Savage. If I would have kept my Savage bobber, I'm sure I probably would have felt the same by being, you know, kind of crunched over like this. My thoughts on this bike, I'm so happy I got to ride it. I'm so thankful and glad that I got to ride this thing. I love it. I mean, if I would get the chance to keep my FZ and be able to have this bike, I would absolutely do it. But I don't know if I would give up the FZ just for the fact of, you know, it's a little bit quicker. You know, it's a little bit quicker, and the upright feeling is, you know, going to be more comfortable. You know, the upright feeling is more comfortable, and, you know, I gotta say, I think I like that upright feeling a little bit more, to be honest. Kickstand right there. Find the key. Off. Woo! Woo! Alright guys, so that is what I just rode. Beautiful bike. Beautiful. I love the like fat tires on it and everything. Really liking it.
Alright, that's going to do it, everybody. Thank you all for watching. I'm probably going to be making a follow-up clip of my thoughts, my after-ride thoughts, after riding some of the other Indians, my after-ride thoughts of this bike, and some things that I might not have thought of during the ride. But the next ride that we're going to be doing is the Indian Scout with the 1130 motor compared to the 1000cc motor on the Indian Scout 60, Scout 60 bobber. So hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot.